Well, there's no better way to finish this album than talking to one of Saturday Scene's most regular friends, Gary Glitter.
Hello, Sally.
Hello, Gary. Now, Gary, it's a sunny afternoon in London. It's October the 9th, and just let me say that I feel most privileged in being one of the first people to talk to you since your recent operation. You look really well. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel very good. I really feel good now. Obviously, I didn't feel so good in hospital, but
No.
I was cheered up a lot by all the fantastic letters and flowers and presents that my fans sent me. And not just fans of mine, but I seemed the whole country seemed to be sympathising with me, and it was great.
Well, I know our Saturday Scene office was absolutely flooded.
By the way, I'd like to say to everybody at home that all the letters and cards that come into Saturday Scene, I do get eventually. It may take 2 or 3 weeks because there are thousands and thousands. But thank you once again, and don't forget, keep on sending them in.
Right. Yes, Gary, I'd like to ask you, I'm sure your fans would want me to ask you, has your singing been affected, or will your voice be okay?
My voice should be okay, but it's like most operations, or at least throat operations, until you use it again and you find out whether it's completely healed. You don't really know, but it was a successful operation, and I believe and feel that it'll be okay.
When are you going to start singing?
We start a tour of Scandinavia back this week. I'm leaving at the end of this week. And then I've got some concerts around Britain and Ireland. And that will take me up to the rest of the year.
Let's talk about your clothes. I mean, do you design all your own clothes?
Yeah.
How long does one outfit last you?
Depends what I'm doing. If I'm using them on the stage, then they really only last me one performance. But, of course, I've got my other sort of glittery clothes that I wear out, you know, and they last me. I know, in fact, I've still got my very first Gary Glitter jacket.
Have you?
Which is, I don't wear it too often, and I'm keeping that as a keepsake.
A special keepsake.
Yeah.
Talking of keepsakes, I've been very lucky during the last year in presenting you with silver, gold and platinum discs every time I see you. I haven't got one today, though.
I think you got the record for presenting me with the most.
Have I?
The most records. Mine, it's great. Anyway, I'm so pleased about it.
Yes, I'm delighted to present you. What do you do with them?
Well, when I started, I used to make a bit of a joke of it, really, and I used to actually stick them in the bathroom and on the loo. You know, I used to have the silver loo and the and the gold loo.
Yeah.
And now I've got in my house in the country, I've got one special room that is, I call it my study or my record room or whatever, and they're all there, you know, and I go in there and it's great because you can go in there and you look at, you know, I've got sort of gold records from Australia and from Finland and from all over the place.
How many have you got as a rough estimate?
I don't know. In fact, by the time I come on the show next time, Sally, I'll tell you exactly.
You will?
I'll go in the room and count them.
I'll remember to ask it.
Yeah.
I know you're very busy, but I also know that one of your hobbies is fishing. Have you done much fishing lately?
I haven't, no, that reminds me, I must do some. It is, I love fishing. You know, that is the way to get away from it all.
What do you think about while you're fishing?
Oh, I tell you the truth, you've never been fishing, have
No.
you? Oh. Well, it's very hard to explain to anybody because they always think you're a lunatic, you know, stuck in the winter and the rain and stuck under an umbrella. But all you think about is a float or your line or the river. All you think about is catching a fish. You just don't think about anything else whatsoever. And it's marvellous because there's a sort of code among fishermen, any other fishermen along the bank, and they only talk about fishing too. So that if anybody does ever recognise me, they would never dream of asking me for an autograph by the river bank, you know, because they know that you're so busy with your fishing, which is great.
I know one of your other hobbies is cooking. What sort of things do you like to cook?
Well, my specialities are curries and spicy foods, and as you know, Sally, I've always got this problem of putting on weight, so a lot of the time that's out, you know. But the only thing I can't cook is cakes. I mean, they just go flat.
We've heard earlier on side 2 of this album a big recipe, actually, for creme caramel from our friend Sparks.
Oh.
So maybe you can learn how to cook sweets if you listen to that.
Which one does the cooking?
Russell's the cook out of those two.
Great.
So, I mean, we could have a big dinner party. You could cook curry and they could cook creme caramel.
I wonder if the two will go together.
You write a lot, don't you, Gary? Now, you go away to write, don't you? You don't...
Usually, but, you know, it's a funny thing about writing songs that I say I go away to write, but really you're writing all the time, you know. But mostly, I find that if I can get out of the country, it's not because I couldn't do it here, but really it's the telephones. You know, there's people either telephoning you or you wanting to telephone them, but by going to somewhere really remote, you can get on and write and do, you know.
What inspires you? How do you get your ideas?
I get all my ideas on stage.
Do you?
Yeah, totally. For an example, Do You Want to Touch was written by the audience. I think we were doing Liverpool, and this was my third record then, and I was on stage and I was shouting to the fans, and then I extended my hand to some fans on the left-hand side of the stage, and they held on to my hand, and there was a load of kids on the other side of the stage trying to, you know, they were waving to me, so I said automatically, "Do you want to touch me?" And they all shouted back, "Yeah," you see. So in the car on the way back, I thought, oh, well, that sounds like a good idea for a song. And that's really, all the songs have come that way. It's either something I may have said, or it's an idea when Mike has been there, because, you know, I write with Mike Leander together. Yeah. And Mike will hear something and he'll say, "Oh, yeah, that was good you said," you know, and we'll write a song about it.
Have you got any particular ambition?
I'd love to do a big, lavish musical.
Would you?
Because, you know, when I go around the country, I always have things like motorbikes and lifts that go up in the air, you know, and I disappear into the sky, that sort of thing. And I'd love to be in one place long enough to present a really big, lavish show. And maybe next year we might be able to do it.
What's your favourite part about the whole business?
I think my favourite part is probably the pleasure I seem to give people. And, you know, judging from letters, like having been in hospital and so on, there's a vast amount of people, not only youngsters, but, you know, mums and dads and everybody, who they seem to enjoy me, and that really pleases me, that I'm making people happy, and I like that. I really like that.
That's a very good reason. What do you think about America? I know you've been on a promotional tour there this year, haven't you? Yeah. Have you got any more plans to go back there?
Yes, I'm going back in April to do a big tour there. But America is such a big place, you know. Every time I go there, I find it so different. Whereas, you know, I feel quite comfortable here in England. Not like, I keep hearing lots of pop stars are disappearing out of the country.
Yes, they all seem to be going.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm staying if I can, by hook or by crook.
Well, I'm delighted to hear you say that. I'm sure everyone that's listening to this album will be delighted to hear you say that. And thanks for talking to me, Gary.
Thank you, Sally. Thanks.